Hello again. I do get a little impatient sometimes when I see everybody discussing the burning topic of the day without ever once exploring the reason for this or that state of affairs. This morning, it is the fact that hospital A&E departments are clogged up by the most trifling complaints. At one time, people only turned up at a casualty department because they had broken their arm or cut themselves badly. In those days, service was swift and nobody waited more than an hour at most before being seen. These days, of course, waiting times can easily exceed 12 hours. The explanation for this may be given in two parts, only one of which has been covered by newspapers and the television news this morning. It is that since last winter, 97,000 people have attended A&E with sore throats, 83,000 with earache, and even 384 with hiccups. No wonder people having heart attacks having to wait outside in ambulances for hours. We are being exhorted not to go to hospital with such minor ailments, but instead to see our GP or to ring the non-emergency NHS telephone service. And yet, not a single person is prepared to say out loud what most of us know very well, which is why so many people are going to A&E with earache rather than seeing their GP. We turn to the section on the British Medical Association website, which tells us which NHS services are available for what they call failed asylum seekers, which is code for illegal immigrants, which may be accessed free, that is. Let's have a look. I give a link to this in the description to this video, and it is headed Refugees and Asylum Seekers Entitlement to NHS Care. Here is what is said about failed asylum seekers, and the same applies for illegal immigrants, those who have never even applied for asylum in the first place. There are estimated to be millions of such people in this country. We read the following. Refused asylum seekers are able to receive some services free of charge, regardless of their overall entitlement to NHS care. This includes treatment in an accident and emergency department. And right there is the nature of the current situation with A&Es being congested with piddling little problems like sore throats. The reason that people are not going to their GP is that in many cases they don't have a GP. They are here in Britain illegally. Either they've overstayed their visa, been refused asylum, or entered the country and simply vanished into the black economy. They don't want to attract attention to themselves by registering with a doctor. Instead, they simply use A&E for any and all medical needs. Don't take my word for this. If you live in London, Manchester, Birmingham, Glasgow, and often smaller cities or towns as well, just pop along to your local A&E and see how many foreigners are there. I'm not speaking, incidentally, about second or third generation immigrants, you understand. I am talking specifically of foreigners, people born in other countries, many of whom can barely speak English. Not only are they presenting with something minor, such as earache, the consultation itself takes forever because of the language problem. Often an interpreter has to be found to try and see what the problem is. Visit King George's Hospital in Ilford or Whipps Cross in Leighton, and you'll be very lucky to see a single white British person in A&E. The thing is, though, that we, the general public, know this. We are all of us well aware of what is causing the problems with A&Es. Journalists and politicians apparently don't know about the real world. Or perhaps they do know, but avoid speaking of it for the sake of community cohesion. Of course, most politicians have private medical care, so none of this makes any difference to them anyway. The journalists usually do know about it, but also are aware that giving a factual account of the problems with the NHS, their real problems that is, will see them being branded as racists. And so everyone keeps quiet, and every so often we throw up our hands in amazement and try to figure out just what's wrong with the NHS, what is causing the collapse in A&E departments, and nobody will ever speak about it openly this way.